Basically, the threat that's come down now is that researchers have demonstrated a piece of software which allows users of Mac computers to have their webcams activated without a little indicator light showing that it's on and capturing images. That's a real privacy concern because feasibly anyone could grab this software if it's made publicly available and start spying on webcam users.
So was Mac seen as being more secure in terms of use of webcam and those sorts of software and technology?
Look, whether that's true or not sort of still remains to be seen. It's always how it's been advertised. You know, Macs don't get viruses, but if it's a computer running on software with hardware attached, it's probably vulnerable to some sort of virus, malware, or some sort of vulnerability.
And how would someone get this malware? Would they download it unknowingly?
So right now, malware is distributed in a bunch of ways. You know, you might have seen messages of your friends who've been hacked on Facebook or Twitter saying, "Oh my goodness, you won't believe what someone's saying about you. Click this link to have a look." That link surreptitiously installs a piece of software which might do anything to your computer, and now it might actually activate the webcam without you knowing.
So the other point as well being made is that often with computers you'll see a light come on if your webcam is active, but that can be deactivated as part of this whole thing as well, isn't it?
Specifically, the proof of concept that's been released is for Mac computers, and they have had a hardwired green light next to the webcam, the eyesight camera, that actually tells people that it's on and capturing images. That's a security feature. They went to a lot of trouble to make sure it couldn't be deactivated, but unfortunately someone seems to have got around that.
So how common is something like this happening? We've proven that it can be done, but who's doing it?
People doing it often are surveillance agencies, people who are looking to get information on who's using a computer when. People are actually setting it up themselves so that if someone unauthorized is using their computer, if it's been stolen, it takes a photo of the thief and sends it to their phone. That's actually a legitimate use for it. People have had these privacy concerns for a very long time, and to be honest, it all comes down on whether you think you're important enough to be spied upon.
Now, as well, we need to remind ourselves that computers don't just have webcams, but they also have microphones. So is there a chance that audio is being captured as well?
There is a slim chance. You know, there's been rumours going around the internet of surveillance agencies being able to surreptitiously activate a microphone as well as a web camera to actually get both a video and an audio snapshot of what's going on in that room. That might be actually quite difficult because the microphone is a different piece of hardware connected to the computer, which means it needs a different avenue of attack. You know, you can install one piece of software that controls a camera, but you need to socially engineer someone to install the second piece of software to control the microphone. That can be quite tricky.
So if anyone is concerned about something like this happening, are there any things that they can do to make sure that their security is up to date? Does antivirus software help?
Look, not so much antivirus software. I mean, that's always good to have installed and updated, but you can actually get software that tracks what the connections going in and out of your computer. So, for example, if the computer recognizes that it's making a connection it's never made before, it'll say, "Hey, I'm about to send a webcam signal to this address. Do you feel cool with that?" If you say yes, it'll send it. If not, no. So that's a really great way to keep track of it, but old-fashioned method, if you're really concerned, buy some duct tape, even though I hate saying it.
But of course, with everything becoming so much more connected, we're talking about mobile devices as well. And I've read a little bit about household appliances as well, which can be, you know, activated and deactivated remotely. I mean, is this something that we're just going to have to be aware of, that there are all sorts of risks attached to people unexpectedly being able to tap in and access those things?
Look, this is something we need to be concerned about, but it's not something we all need to go and unplug our modem routers for. It's not something we need to go and completely move to the country in the middle of nowhere to get away from and wear tinfoil hats. You know, as soon as something's connected to the internet, yes, it does become a point of vulnerability. But I mean, it all comes down to people aren't really... The reason that Apple have said Macs are secure is because it is a relatively small user base and no one's really developing viruses for it. The reason Windows isn't very secure is because a lot of people are using it, a lot of businesses, and that's why hackers go in and try and steal information. You know, you have to look at that from a use-based perspective. Not many people are using an internet-connected fridge, so not many people are going to try and hack your milk.
Probably just as well.
You have to be aware when using technology these days that you really are open to sort of tracking in any way, because there's a lot of GPS on smartphones and different tablets and things like that. So you have to conduct yourself thinking in the back of your mind that it is public.
Absolutely. You have to think of your phone and your tablet especially as almost like a friend or almost a small child you're taking around with you. It can see, it knows where it is, it can think for itself, but you can still tell it to do things at a certain level. So what you need to realize is that this thing is almost, it's not sentient yet, but it's definitely connected to a lot of services which can get you into trouble if you don't monitor where you're going. There's different Find Friends apps which can tell you, you or your friends or your partner, where you're going, where you've been, and your appointments for the day. You really have to be careful both who you give your password to. You also really have to be careful who you let see certain statuses and privacy updates and things like that.
Yeah, that was a warning that was given out as well over the Christmas break, where a lot of people are obviously heading off. What they put on their social media may, trigger people as to whether or not they become a target for someone who wants to break in or things like that. So there is a lot to take into consideration.
In the old days, it used to be you just put your bins out and that tells the thieves you've gone on holiday, but now they check you on Facebook. You can actually get internet-connected lights, which can switch on and off on a timer. So you can actually see when they've been switched on and off and double-check that no one's actually going into your house by switching the lights on and off.